Emily, I have several teenage family members. Is your book cool to? Is there? Like
There's some sex stuff in it.
Yeah, but teenagers should know about sex
I think
stuff.
so. Yes.
Well, Judy Blume took care of that shit.
Right? Are you there, God? Yeah, it's totally appropriate for teenagers, I would say. And I do talk about that specifically, that you view everything through the light of your experiences. I try to if you back everything out, I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement with
just because she said the word light in a sentence.
It sounds like she's in agreement, Dan.
I'm in one of 4 people that agree with your theories on this. Like the idea of if you back everything out, if your life was a reality show, like a very boring, for most of you, reality show. But
ours are great reality shows.
Mine too. I'm just saying everybody's life is ultimately very boring as a reality show. But if you viewed it as a reality show and were divorced from your talking head segments of well, I can't believe he did this, and he did this because he's like this, and this happens because he should know that I don't like. If you just viewed the situation objectively, that's you've got to learn to divorce that some of the shit is your shit and you can't bring it anything because the other person you're talking to doesn't have any fucking clue what your talking head segment is.
Because the only thing you can do is control yourself.
That's Hannah cross-stitched a very beautiful thing that hopefully will be an item. You can only control yourself. You have no control over anybody else whatsoever. So you have to, if you're in a confrontation with someone or in a conversation, just realize that take yourself out of it and watch as if it was on television, because if it was, you would just see 2 characters interacting, and all you can judge is those interactions. Everybody comes with their own baggage and their own shit. But
and you would never judge the dude that was just hanging out. And if you saw,
right, exactly.
If another guy was exactly. And if there was just a guy going like that,
you'd be like, oh,
you
he's
wouldn't
just
be
sitting
like,
there.
what a pussy,
what a fucking asshole,
what an idiot.
Why
You'd be like, I want to learn more about that guy, David Hyde Pierce.
Is it David Hyde?
I don't know.
Emily, did you say Hannah cross-stitched that?
Well, she created an illustration of a cross-stitch because I was like, wouldn't it be cool if you had a cross-stitch, old-timey pillow or a thing of you can only control yourself. So she made this gorgeous thing that looks just like a cross-stitch that's a page in the book that I'm hoping we can make another thing out of.
Yeah.
We're going to make posters out of it.
All these things are it's so hard to, sometimes I'll get into these Twitter things, and then you're right, nobody's gonna change. Nobody's changed their mind about anything since the fucking 90s. Nobody changed. So, and I'll get into these fights with people. Can I tell you I've adopted a troll strategy?
Yes.
With people. I'll tell you what it is. I'm not proud of it. Actually, I love it. I have a new strategy, because a lot of times you'll be talking to people and they just want to, it becomes a semantic argument where they just want to contradict you, and it's not about the meaning anymore, it's about defeating the person.
It's not about anything other than
it's about defeating the person.
But you get to live one more month if you...
From your 140 character tweet, they're picking one word.
Yes.
And I do that
exactly.
too. It's well, if leather is the glue...
Yeah. So I have this new thing. So if somebody because I'll get people, if somebody ever calls me Indian, I'm like, that's racist. I'm Pakistani. I know research is hard, so I'll do that. But then the other day I tweeted, I was like, hey, my people are looking to trade Bobby Jindal. In exchange, we'll take literally anything. I said that he's an Indian descent.
Yeah.
And so then people will be like, you're Pakistani, he's Indian. Do some research. I'm like, actually, India and Pakistan were the same country until 1947. So I know research is hard, but...
What a piece of shit.
So I'm like, I got you coming, I got you going.
Wait.
You cannot win with Kumail Nanjiani.
Wait, Kumail,
I love this.
Are you saying you laid that trap? You knew people were going to say that so that you could kung fu?
No, but I came up with it right then, and I was like, this is great. If you call me Pakistani, I can be like, actually, we're all kind of Indian. And if you call me Indian, you're racist because I'm Pakistani.
You really can't win. You cannot win.
He's saying the first instinct is to make people laugh, to make people happy. And then the second instinct, if somebody comes back and goes your joke, I'm not laughing at it, but I have a different response, and there's my response. So that guy, if you agree to go out in the alley with that guy, the crime has been committed, and what goes on in that alley is your business.
Yeah.
And it's you saying you bring out a fucking corkscrew.
I'm not playing fair now.
No, not playing fair.
Because you shouldn't be out there. You shouldn't be out there.
You have a water gun, I have a fucking mace.
Because you shouldn't be out there. That's a great point.
But we should probably talk about, just that one little inkling, though, is the reason you go out there is, that's a classic example.
Connection.
You must be going... Connection?
Well, they
that
can feel
person
bad.
is correcting
that's
somebody
what
because
I.
they want
yes.
to piece it. They want to be in a conversation.
That's also true.
No. I'm saying the reason you go out there. I know
Yes.
the reason. Yeah, the reason the Statler and Waldorf guys are like
Yeah.
calling shit out. Why does Kermit start engaging Statler and Waldorf? The reason is because for some part of what they're saying, Kermit's like, you know what? The Muppet Show is full of shit. It's just some part, and it doesn't matter if it's true or not, right? But can we all acknowledge that?
I don't know if I
That's
would
what
acknowledge
brings
that.
us out there into that alley.
I think sometimes if I engage with a Twitter troll, I'm in a bad mood. I've got
Yes.
something that has irritated me that day, and
Yes.
I don't want to take it out on that person or I can't. So I'm like, here's a person that will take my shit, and
Yeah.
I give them my shit, and I fucking burn
I have
them.
that same thing.
Yeah.
If I'm in a shitty mood, like I'm never surer of my own opinions than when I haven't gotten enough sleep. Like,
He's a real bear, you
But
guys.
isn't that saying the same thing? Like, isn't it just like unconsciously? Isn't it part of you when you to continue using that metaphor when you go out into that back alley and choose to have that person-to-person stiletto knife fight, which I just recently did with a dude today, where
What was the meat and potatoes of that thing, or is that even worth
I
mentioning?
retweeted. I'm happy to tell you. I retweeted a very funny joke by some stranger who said, "I would like to see a reality show where Vine stars are executed." I clicked a fucking button, retweet. And because I clicked that button, then in my feed, and remember how I said I'm so happy because I started blocking people. Like Twitter's been a positive experience for me. Then this guy just in my feed. It goes like, "That's a funny thing coming from a guy who let Community turn into dog shit." Whoa! And I was like, that doesn't-
Unrelated.
But there's some part of, what do you mean unrelated? Oh,
I mean, you're not related.
Yes, his thing is unrelated. Yes, I thought you were going to say unrelated. God damn it, fuck you.
You could have posted. You could
the-
have posted a picture of a flower, and they'd be like, "That's a pretty flower."
But obviously something's drawing me. I'm following something.
And what were you following? Let's talk about it. So today,
I'm following the fact that I don't think Community.
so you want to disagree with him and let him know that you disagree.
I want to know that the guy who says that is definitely a bad person.
Because I think at the
What you
heart
want.
of what that
You
guy
want
was-
reassurance that if someone has a bad
I want to
opinion
know it's
of
not
you-
Morgan Freeman like logging in and being like, not that Morgan Freeman's not a piece of shit.
Because
I'm sure he is, but
that guy,
I just mean like
positive or negative, was trying to connect with you in some way, whether or not it was good or bad.
was trying to get a reaction.
into your. He wanted
whatever's
a
going on
conversation.
in his end. I'm talking about.
You don't give a shit what's going on
Can
in
we
his
all
end.
acknowledge what's drawing us into these knife fights is a suspicion? I think Malcolm X. I really am going into out of my jurisdiction, but I think there's a quote from. So someone just flew across the room.
I'm so curious what the next thing you have to say is.
Someone wanted to go, and it turned into, and they now are dead because of me, and I apologize. I'm going to assume that person's black,
So there's a
and apologize to that person.
I saw him, not black.
Okay. You know what? Now
I've
that you
actually-
say that, fucking makes sense. Fucking white people, they're pieces of shit.
See?
Black people are sitting hanging out.
Yeah.
what is
anyway.
this?
No, they're not here.
There
Malcolm
was
X.
a.
Yeah.
You just called Morgan Freeman a piece of shit.
Fuck him. The quote. I think it could have been Malcolm X. It could have been.
Let's just say it was.
Say the fucking quote.
It was and I'm gonna paraphrase it and fuck it up. Behind all of the strife, there's the racial like tension, all of these things. Is the suspicion we have to let go of that anything we're talking about is true. It's the on both sides. It's like white racists thinking that something they're saying has any founding, and also on the victim side, like the idea that you can victimize somebody to the point where they actually believe.
So you're
I
concerned
don't-
that the suspicion, you have a suspicion that this person on Twitter might be right, that you did let Community go to shit. Is that what you're saying?
That's what he's saying, but I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know if that's, for me, it's not, like if I say Bobby Jindal is a piece of shit, there is no doubt in my mind that guy is harmful.
But that's
and I'm
it.
not fighting him because I'm like, maybe he is a good guy. No, I've seen him
that's-
talk to his children.
Wait,
He's a
but that's
horrible
you-
monster.
That's you putting fruit out by a wayside. That's you grew that. That's not you respond. I'm talking about somebody coming up to your fruit.
Yes, he's right about that.
my
yeah.
fruit.
Your
Sure.
example.
That guy
You made
You're
the
right.
perfect example.
You're
you
right.
went out into the alley with the guy where like you said the opposite of the other thing. You were like,
Yeah.
well, Pakistan was part of India because
Yeah.
there's a suspicion there when the guy called you out, what you were reacting to, what drew you out into the alley, the way that someone agrees to try weird shit in 50 Shades of Grey is some white rabbit that says to you, I got parts of me that I haven't fucking like the guy is calling you out and going like, and you're going, fucking call me out. And you're going out into that alley because not because you've got all your shit sealed up. You're going out into that alley because you're like, oh wait, right?
It's like, I don't know about that specific example, but I know what you're saying, and I agree with you. When somebody says like, "Hey,
You're a
if
piece of
somebody
shit,
says
you're a
like,
bad comedian.
"Hey, you're not good in this thing," I probably fight back because part of me is afraid that I'm not good in that thing. I think that is part of it.